Okay, here, I find this a little bit comical, but this is the first time that I have ever reamed and put tubes in a 4-cylinder head like this. This, of course, is the Volkswagon diesel, and I found 3 areas of major restriction, and I'm able to put tubes in it. First, I had to core drill it with a drill to get it close, and then I used the reamer right there to go down in there and drill it to give me a little bit of a crush fit on the tube. Now this time I'm using a brass tube instead of a 4130. It's the size tubes that I have here, and it's only getting 3 of them, as one port divides the other 2. Now I'm not saying I'm going to bust through, but you have to drill them first before you do it. So let's get on with this. Alright, I'm going to get her back where I had her positioned, and let's see what we got. Makes a lot of noise. Is very deafening to the ears, as I'm sure my daughter can attest. She's over here in the corner. How loud was that, Leah? Alright, well anyway, we'll go ahead now. I gotta ream one more hole, and then I'll show you the press fitment before. Okay, continuing on. I've showed y'all this on some other stuff, but I'll show you on this. My reamer goes about 1/1000th undersize. See how it'll start, but it won't push. Now remember, when I put the epoxy on here, it's even going to be harder to push. So what I have to do is I take a sand roll, bring it to size where I can barely fit it in. Make a couple of passes, and then see what I got for fitment. There we go. That's perfect. You can't get it no better than that. See, it got bite in it just a little bit. Now it's got some press fit, but the epoxy will tighten it up. Now I'm going to go ahead and hit the other ones, and once that's done, now I can grind through the port. Y'all are fixing to see some really cool stuff. I will guarantee you there ain't a Volkswagen diesel out there going to tangle with this mean son of a gun. All right. Hey, the center port here has a giant hump, a bulge, about 125 thousandths bulge. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to form a trench starting at the bottom to take that curvature out. Okay, that's my starting point, and that's where I'm going to leave it because I got it trenched on both sides. Let me show you some over here. I'm going to go ahead and hit it real quick. Thing gets to move it, it's so light. Okay, as you can see, I'm trenched here and here. It's where these head bolts go that really get in the way. There's a big hump. Now, I'm not going to cut till I break in. That's not what I'm doing. I'm not purposely trying to bust. I'm just trying to straighten that wall out on this head. So I'm going to get the trenches dug on both the top and the bottom. Then we're going to come out for some raw material blending because all the other porting is completely finished on the head. All right, here we go now with the raw material removal, and they're starting to bust through, which I figured it would. I take the big one and start it, I say mainly in the center. I'm applying medium pressure. Like I said, I'm not purposely trying to bust through. I'm just trying to take some of that dramatic hump out so it'll rechannel some of this air on this side. Because the one thing I'm trying not to do, I don't want to weaken the structure of the head with the tube. Okay, now in a minute I'm going to switch to the smaller one, my smaller egg, to pull it in, and then I'll go to the straight one and blend everything in with it, and it's looking like it's going to bust, so we're going to see a touch of the brass tube in the head. Alright, I'll go ahead, complete this, and then we'll get back with the smaller burr, and I'll show you how I blend that, and I'm going to try to transition that roof shot right there a little bit better to give him a little bit of a kick on. One of the things I wanted to point out, when I went in there and put the tubes in and straightened that out and widened that path, one of the things you got to do is I had to go in here, kind of like I do on the TDI 350 Chevy heads. Man, I had to go up here and open the swirl cage up dramatically. The wall was out to here. I had to pull that back, get a blend into it. I mean, it's basically very similar to the TDI throttle body head, which, remember, this is a diesel, not gasoline. The whole swirl thing started with diesels and then came over to the gasoline motors as a low RPM heavy mixture situation. So now with the bowls blended, let's take a look at what our intake runner looks like after I've chopped this, pulled this over, and dramatically moved it. Let's see what we got. I don't mind telling you, I've had a big kick out of this. I love it when I get something weird. Nobody else probably would even care to do something like this. But as you can see, there's where I moved the wall so far over. That's where a head bolt goes, busted through. And right there, man, I mean, it's just a damn straight shot almost all the way to the back instead of being humped and bulged. And like I said, when I did this here, I had to dramatically go in and alter the twist, the bowl area, so it could exit all this new air that's brought in. On the exhaust port, not a tremendous amount done. I did go in there and I managed to raise the roof about, I don't know, 1/8 of an inch. The guide stuck out dramatically farther. I chopped that. I was able to move the wall some. Of course, I didn't fool with the floor any at all. And I'm pretty confident now that this is going to work pretty good. I mean, if you just look at the shape of it, it just screams wet flow capability because of the straight shot, no bends, not many curves until it gets to the bowl. So now we're fixing to get ready to put the epoxy in the tube and let her dry and then conclude this operation.